Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Monday night here at Proficiency Bonus. My name is Matthew, your primarily benevolent dungeon master. I know it's been a couple of weeks since we've been together, so we do apologize for that. I was out of town for a bit, and we had minor miscommunication on my part, some people confused on when I wasn't going to be here. So, before we jump back into things, a couple of quick shout-outs. I want to give a big thanks to Streamlabs OBS and Twitch, as we use their software and platform to do what we enjoy doing. Our friends Little Dragon Corp. Check out !Little Dragon in our chat. Give you a link to their website. You can use the discount code PROBONUS. Get 10% off your order with them. They ship anywhere in the world. Then we also have Cardboard Castle Games. You can put in !CCG to get a link for their site. Don't mind me as I'm getting shifted sideways a little. Let me just drop this as... was catching up a couple minutes behind. So now we are... Oops. Let me jump over and actually turn on the camera for that individual so I don't forget, and then all of a sudden you start hearing people talk that you can't see. There we go. Now we are all present and accounted for. So we will jump into what happened last time we were together, because it's actually been 3 weeks. And I'm a little confused at our rogue, but with that being said, our party has made their way to the Lord City of Palanthus in a strange world. They've come to realize that they're not exactly from around here. They met a strange, angry little dwarf who also was not from around there, and has basically been escorted, had a conversation with the Lord Mayor, found a little bit of information out about what was going on, and came to realize this strange world that they've been, or plane, or existence, whatever situation they find themselves in, appears to be the same place that Artemis's mother has been squirreled away to. Seeing on the map the strange reference to Mount Nevermind. Eventually the party started to discuss their ideas. There was talk of shopping. There was talk of chartering a voyage to get to said mount to attempt to rescue said mother. And then there was a quiet evening at the inn. Different party members sort of went their own way, some people with more on their mind than others. Eventually, Artemis roused out of their contemplation by a sharp rapping on the door. Upon their opening it, they see a very delicate elven face, clothed in deep black velvet robes. As they converse for a moment, Artemis starts to be led into the room, well, basically guided back into their room, as, unbeknownst to Artemis, a spider is starting to scurry across the floor towards the door, and Lydia has just exited her room and is now seeing this individual this happening. So we're going to pick up right there. Well, I should mention that also we have Murdoch and Sarah are both in a room together and have sort of been listening in. And Rose, I can't remember, who were you in a room with, or were you on your own? You were in with Furia, okay.
Yeah, I was with Furia.
Okay, so basically we have you at the door, at your room's door, sort of listening in. We have Murdoch and Sarah sort of creeping in, listening in. Furia and Lydia in the hallway. So we're actually going to start with Furia and Lydia in the hall, as you are both sort of noticing this sensation as you're moving, almost as if the air got thick. It's like you can everything, you feel fine, But when you're walking, it literally feels like you're trying to walk through molasses. But it's literally like you're walking in it neck deep. Like when you're moving your arms, just everything feels like it's slower.
I would like to cast dispel magic.
Okay. And what level are you casting this at?
Just third on the roll for it.
Okay, so you are going to need to roll.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and roll a d20 and add your spellcasting.
12 on the dice. Plus spell attack bonus?
I know your spellcasting modifier, so...
just 4, so 16.
Okay. So that is... let me double check this right quick. Oops. Okay. And while I'm just pulling this up to double check this effect, Murdoch, I saw you toss a finger up.
I realized, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I thought of something and it's wrong.
Okay. So let's... Okay. As you feel the... you feel your spell leave, and you... Again, you feel that slight glow, and even that glow coming off of your holy symbol seems to just radiate through you a little slower. Out of the corner of your ear, you hear a slight bit of laughter come from around the corner, as it does not seem to have any effect.
Not funny.
And then, Fury, anything you would be doing is you can hear Lydia attempting to cast a spell.
I would probably, as I'm doing my best to rush forward as quickly as my spider legs could carry me, seeing it not work and seeing it just sort of move slower, I don't think that I could do anything helpful with what I have prepared at the moment without destroying the inn. And I really don't want to destroy this inn.
Okay.
So I'm just going to keep crawling as fast as I can towards the door.
Okay. Easy enough to do. And as you're watching as Artemis's finish gets, again, very just calmly escorted back into the room, you can see this tall, slender individual, hand very lightly resting sort of between the shoulder blades, just guiding Art back in. You watch as the door starts to close, and immediately upon the door closing, the effect is gone. And the two of you are able to move normally.
I'm going to crawl underneath the crack in the door.
Oh, okay.
Or attempt to.
Yeah, easy enough. This isn't, this isn't the, the Ritz-Carlton. There's a good probably half-inch gap underneath the door. Lydia, what would you be doing?
Probably slamming into the wall for momentum or something. I would probably send Art a message saying, in the hallway, let me know if you need us. We're here to help you always.
Okay, your message comes through loud and clear, Art.
Yes, help.
Okay. In my loudest voice, that's Lydia voiced, I will say, Murdoch? Sir? New lady friend? Let's all go rescue Art.
What?
And I'll pound on the doors and I'll run into Art's room if I can. Like, I will literally start, like, if the doors not locked. I will just as it was locked first before I start to like run into the door.
As you get over to, after calling this out, and as all of you hear this, you go over to the door, and it seems to be locked. Make a perception check.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if you meant everyone else. That was
I would
I'm
like
sorry,
to
this is
grab my
specific to you.
19.
Okay. As you sort of call this out and you start trying at the door, you do see a spider crawl underneath it.
Oh. Okay, well that's good. I guess. If that's your area. Otherwise, this is really weird.
Charlotte.
I'm too focused on crawling underneath the crack in the door to do anything spidery.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will actually jump out then to the rest of the group. So Murdoch, we'll start with Murdoch and Sarah, because you two were in the room together, and you two were called out first. What would you be doing? You hear Lydia calling for all of you.
I'm grabbing my crossbow and like I'm gonna try like open the door, but also try and like get the crossbow loaded. We are not doing this again.
I'm going to grab Ern de Snow Moon, which is sitting on the windowsill, and go put him back in Sarah's bag. Before someone accidentally elbows him out the window.
Thank you, Murdoch. Now please open the door for me. I need a clean shot.
I don't know if I open the door. I don't think this is a crossbow kind of situation. Lydia, what's going on?
Can't open door.
Oh,
Please.
Sarah, I think this is a lock-picking situation, not a crossbow situation.
It can be a both situation.
One set of hands.
Okay, hold up my crossbow. I hand my crossbow to Murdoch and walk over with my...
Murdoch's like, I don't use these! That's a gun!
I'm gonna try a lockpick.
Oh, okay.
I should have dice when I'm doing stuff.
Remember, hey,
I'm
remember your gloves.
Oh. I do have my gloves. I'm wearing them.
Yes, remember the things they do.
See, the problem is she can't see them, so she doesn't remember that she has the.
Once in a while. Yes, my gloves of thievery. The ones I'm always wearing, but I forget them because Fury is right. They're invisible and the player is a dumbass. Oh, poppies. Let's see. The sleight of hand, and where is me? And then I can't do math. Okay, altogether that's an 18.
Okay, as you get your lockpicks out and you're sitting down there, just try it after a couple minutes and trying to give it a twist, and all of a sudden you feel one of your lockpicks bend a little bit. And as you see it bend, you see a small flash of light from the lock. It seems like there is something protecting this. You're getting the idea you won't be able to, at least at the moment, it seems to be beyond what you're able to pick.
Oh, fiddlestick. It's magic. It's magic. Give me the crossbow back.
What is that? Here, you know what? Yes. I don't know what you plan to do with it now.
I don't know why I pumped it like a shotgun.
That is not how crossbows work at all.
Hold up, that. Now it is canon. Sarah has a custom crossbow that in order to pull the bolt back, you're gonna go.
Gosh.
I think I have. Wait, where did we get those magic items?
Get
Those
off
cursed
my
magic items.
lawn.
What is the inn made of?
On this floor, it's wood.
You-
And
I'm
Rose,
gonna-
at this point, you're probably out in the hallway too, as you were called out to. Well, new lady friend. So it's up to you whether or not Rose would think that was her or not.
Yeah, I would have run out into the hallway in response to Lydia.
You can see for a couple of moments that your Master Furbolg new acquaintance is sort of shoulder bumping a door, grabbing the doorknob. The halfling's trying to pick a lock, doesn't seem to be having much luck.
Still could try to smash it with my axe.
I'll be.
Paying for a door is better than paying for a room.
Can I try one more thing quickly, and then you know what? You can have at it with an axe.
Fine.
Just really quickly. Just really quickly.
You're
First
a
off,
lawyer. Are you going to
does,
charm the door?
does the spell on the door, is it a spell on the door, or is it a spell on the lock? You don't really.
You really wouldn't be sure. When you were... I'll say go ahead and make a free perception check.
A free perception check is something I'll gladly do.
Huh.
But not when my dice roll into the abyss, but I have a second one. 8.
Kaplan, do you remember which episode we got the cursed items from, like, your Rock of Returning?
Just an 8.
Just an 8?
Oh, that was back when we were
You're not
in Succumber, I believe.
No, that was Daggerford.
Or Daggerford?
Yeah, it was the House of Oddities.
Daggerford? Yeah, it was around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, the thing I'm gonna try, I'm going to hope that maybe mages are silly, and they're like, you're locked on that side, I'll open it when I want to on this side. I'll cast Unseen Servant inside the room, because it says I don't need to see the point where it originates, and just ask Jeeves to really kindly see if you can open the door from the other side for us, please?
Hold on, let me see what this... Oh.
Give me a moment, madam.
Take your time.
Madam, you see, it is a pull and not a push.
Thank you, Jeeves. You know, I'm always getting those mixed up. You should really put signs.
Murdoch, go ahead and roll a percentile for me.
Hey, I've got the Ring of Doom. Can I start knocking Shaven a haircut on the wall so he has to knock 6 pence?
I'm glad you're taking this so seriously.
It's
I
getting
don't
his
know.
hands off of you!
I don't know if I want high or low. I got 17.
Okay, you actually wanted low. So, yes, way I'm ruling this is he did lock the door. The spell he used is Arcane Lock, so if there is someone out there watching and this is wrong, feel free to correct me later. But he's locked the door. The lock on the inside of the door is a simple deadbolt style lock. So while, yes, it is locked and cannot be unlocked easily from the other side, inside, you hear a click.
Successfully charmed the door, and I just turn the knob and I open it. But you can use your axe on whoever's inside, Rose.
Fine,
Okay.
that'll have to be enough.
Not me.
Thank you, Jeeves.
So as all this is going on, Art, you have probably about like 2 or 3 moments that this individual's in the room with you, as you can hear just all manner of chaos outside. As he just sort of turns over his shoulder and very lightly just sort of grins a little bit. Aren't your friends the rather excitable bunch?
Don't think overexcitable so much as caring. Oh,
I have come with a twofold purpose for you. First, I come on behalf of those whom I serve at the Conclave. They have become aware of a presence that is skilled beyond what is permitted in the arcane arts. And he goes into a small pouch and pulls out a small piece of parchment that has a small wax seal on it, and proceeds to both hands hold it out to you. The conclave at
Unless-
this time is, I suppose the term would be inviting you to join us at the Tower of High Sorcery in Wayreth to complete your test, lest you be branded as a renegade and hunted by members of the conclave.
Is there a particular time limit on this? There's. I'm not exactly meaning to stay here.
Oh. I've not been one to be quite in Parsalion's graces, but I'm certain it is within the missive he has directed me to give you. My second piece, I come, of the Mistress Jenna. She had advised me you were seeking aid from my Shalify within the tower to find a way home. Nothing is without a price. And he reaches up and starts sort of unfastening his robe a little bit and pulls it open and bares the middle of his chest, and you can see 5 what look to be almost bullet holes in his chest. I work for the Conclave, and shall I say my Shalify was not pleased that I had been reporting on him. A single touch of his hand. No cleric has found a way to heal it. Then he buttons it back up a little bit. Do not make deals with him.
I would like to pop back into myself and sit on the bed and immediately say, like pointing at the piece of paper that Art's holding, and why do you get an invitation? That's not really fair.
Oh, hello.
And about that same time, the door just swings open and the rest of the party starts piling in now. As,
Okay.
strangely enough, as all of you start pouring in, Fury is sitting on the bed in the room with Art. The individual now sort of takes a step back and sort of pivots around Art a little bit to put Art sort of in between the group. And again, looks at the group a little bit, and you watch that sort of very almost sly grin play across the face again. Yes, they are quite... What was the word you used again? Concerned? Caring? Something of that. Whatever it was. Suffice to say, you have received your invitation. My task is completed here. Be warned should you choose to accept. While it will grant you safer existence in this realm, and it is a requirement for one such as you. And as you watch as the eyes meet every other person sitting in the room and then comes back down to you again, Art. Whose bloodline is tied here? At least partially.
Oh, right then. I will take a look at this.
And with that, he gives, again, sort of glances across the review. And if it's all the same now, I think I shall be departing. And watch as he pulls his hand out, and you now notice there is a very sort of simple gold band on the middle finger of his right hand. And you watch as he of starts playing with a little bit, and you watch his eyes close. Then he stops for a second, looks back over at you, Art. If you take the test, be careful. The price is steep should you fail. But I'm certain you and your friends will have no difficulty.
Me and my friends?
Of course, if you wish them to travel with you.
Okay, well that makes me
The
feel
test
a
is
little...
the test is designed for you. Every test is well, it's a little more difficult in your case as you have not been taught by someone here, but the test is designed to, I suppose saying test is a bit redundant, but to truly challenge the individual. Challenges you mentally, magically, and emotionally. And by the end of it, you have declared to yourself, to your heart, who do you follow? You follow Solinari, the patron god of the white-robed, Lunatari, the goddess who oversees the red, or Nutari, worshipped by those who can see a moon that none others can, save Night of the Eye.
Right. Okay. Well. I'll discuss with my friend then.
And avoid Shalafai. He will find you. Whether he finds you yesterday or tomorrow, the river of time knows no meaning to him. And you watch as he again plays with that ring a little bit. And then starts to vanish in front of
Dude,
you.
I hate wizards, dude.
Oh, shoot.
Said it in every game so far.
The group of you are now left standing alone in a room with a small gnome holding a scroll. Or a rolled up piece of parchment.
Does no one know how to deliver a message normally anymore? I mean, come by in the day. Just explain it outright instead of trying to kidnap or lock someone in a room. Just, are you alright?
Pigeon post.
What is all this? Art? A test? What is... What...
I
What's she
don't
talking
know! I know just about as much as you do. And you just got here, sort of, kind of.
It sounds
I'm
like they
thinking
want you
with
to
you
take a
tonight.
test. To do that wizard thing.
We were warned that there was a lot of rules and
I didn't-
restrictions with magic.
I didn't think that the person that we talked to get the magic. Actually, you know, now that I say it out loud, the person that we're talking to get the magic spells would probably know that I would need to get tested. Because
Everybody that we meet that's wearing a white robe, a red robe, or a black robe is a magic person here.
But I'm like a tourist. Why should I need to do this?
Well, it's just like
He
with
did
water
say
skiing,
you
where
were
get 10 days, then you have to register. It's a much better
Ti-
system.
tied here. Why else would your mother be here?
I don't like what he said about the emotional the thing. I don't think I'm. I don't know if I would make it through that.
I'm gonna open this little scrolly thing.
Oh, okay. So as you sort of peel the wax seal off and unscroll it, it's very beautiful calligraphy on this. And again, it's very straightforward, and it is exactly as your visitor advised you. It is a formal invitation to travel to the Tower of High Sorcery in Wayreth, which on there they do make reference to be on the invitation being south of Qualinesti.
Just look at the map.
Yeah, so if you are checking out the map as you're reading this, that the Tower
Oh,
of High Sorcery
wow.
is
We're
way
in
the bejesus down
Palanthus.
there.
Well.
Oh God.
And we are.
You're
We
way
are
the hell up
at
north.
the
You're on a
top.
different continent.
Boy.
We are here, and they want us to go, or the tower is here.
Yep.
Great.
It's about
And
100
it's-
feet.
It specifies that there are 3 sections to the test. And as basically during the test, it is designed for a wizard to sort of declare their true allegiance to the magics. And it gives a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a history on it, but it gives you a, let's call it a PR message on the White Robes. Is about how magic is all about serving your fellow man or your fellow people and all this other things. Red Robes are just neutral. Black serves themselves before, or serves the magic and then themselves. Every one of them specifies that their primary responsibility is to the respect and the preservation of magic within the realm. And then underneath, White Robes, again, to use the easy way, White Robes are viewed as the good magicians. They're the ones who will go out of their way to help somebody. The Red Robes of neutrality. Take it or leave it. Black Robes will, once the magic is taken care of, serve only themselves. And you would all, and down at the bottom of it, you can see the, again, the signature, the same sort of penmanship that matches the signature, is from the person claiming to be head of the White Robes, Parsalan. Then it mentions 2 other individuals who have signed the bottom as well, Justarius of the Red Robes, and LaDonna of the Black Robes.
Sorry, who was the white robe?
White Robe was part of... Hold on, let me grab... Titan.
Right.
Let me just grab my cell phone. I'll type it into Discord chat.
Sitting beside Art, I'm going to be like sort of reading over their shoulder, if they're not like super secreting this thing away.
No, not at all.
And I'll sort of point at the bottom with the signatures, and that sort of matches up weirdly with what that Jenna lady said in the shop. Didn't we learn that the person Dunbar we met was head of the White Robes and wasn't? I mean, when we met him, he was a full-grown man, and she was saying he just left to go sail the sea, and he was like a young'un.
Mm-hmm.
Time is weird.
Well, that
Something's going on.
that plays into apparently the last thing that he said, that this individual, the flow of time, doesn't care about it. Said so flippantly, by the way.
I'm having a strange feeling that we've met this person before. Not the one that was here, but this other person.
Yes. Well,
I wouldn't-
I mean, as much as I would just love to have a test and get all stressed out about that, I also do have prior engagements. And it's not like I'm disobeying. I
We could just take the long way around. Go get your mom. I point at the map, and then head down here. You know, just...
I mean, and frankly, if we can find a way back to our home after your mother is all good and safe, to heck with it.
it's not my fault. It's not. I'm not intending for us to be tied here and my mother to be here and wrapped up in all of this.
I mean, it's not a bad place. I mean, it's not... I mean, it could be worse. We could be, like, in the hells.
Or the goat dimension.
I, right. Yes, that is so much more worse than having my mother kidnapped and stuck in a mountain.
Being in, yeah, it's really hard to weigh what's worse, being in hell or having your mother be kidnapped.
Murdoch has both.
Goats. Oh, just goats, lots of them.
I think we should double down on trying to find a way to get to Mount Nevermore. I don't think
Mind.
that our goal has
Me too.
changed.
Nevermore is the other one.
Never
from
mind.
where we're from.
Never mind.
Nevermind is where we go to find Artemis's mother. Nevermore is where I'm going to. I look at Rose for a second.
Nether.
Never.
Nether.
Yes, Nether, she's correct.
They said that
Look,
if you
naps are
don't-
my thing. Don't worry about it.
They said that if you don't take this exam, you'll be hunted, but they also said that the exam was very dangerous, and that makes it sound like, you know, we're facing danger either way. So I say, focus on your mother, and if we get stopped along the way, we'll just say that we're taking a roundabout to the damn tower.
Well, it's
Can't
a long,
disprove that.
it's a long journey anyway, so.
And we have no idea what kind of monsters there are here. Are there monsters here? I don't know.
There were dragons.
There
Other
was a
than the
dragon.
dragons and the dragon people.
Ah,
Who knows? Maybe that's the only monsters here.
No offense.
The dragons ate everybody else.
And if going to save my mother makes me as selfish as a magician, then they can just stick me in the black robes. I don't care right
I
now.
don't think that's a selfish thing to do. If I knew where my mom was, I would go rescue her.
if they call that selfish, they can take their fancy wands and stick them where the sun doesn't shine, is what they can stick.
I also have something else they could talk to, and I cock my shotgun crossbow.
That's not how.
Haha.
Sarah, please unload that before
There's
someone
another
gets shot in
in.
the foot.
I don't
Don't
know
point-
what
don't
you're
point it at
talking
the ground,
about,
that's
Murdoch.
unsafe.
Sarah, good God!
I like this one.
Let's.
While that's being settled, Artemis, I point the crossbow at Artemis.
This is not good.
I put my hand on top of it and I point
Uh,
it down.
My finger's not on the trigger. Artemis. What? We're not leaving you alone again. You come and stay with Murdoch
Is that
and
a
I.
threat? Why are you pointing at me?
I'm not threatening you.
Lydia,
What's the
Lydia's by
matter?
herself.
I
They
volunteer.
already offered.
Sarah, roll
I
a
just
d20 for me.
Oh no.
Oh no. Where'd my d20 go? Cats!
Goodbye, friends.
I rolled a natural 20!
You're actually fine. If you had rolled a nat 1, you would have fired point blank at Art's face.
Oh gosh.
Cool. Murdoch,
Oh my
maybe get
gosh.
that
Basically, you would've
song
fumbled
ready
if
for
you're-
next time.
I'm not making. That's not true. I am working on a song.
It's fine, I'm proficient in it.
We'll share room.
Let's
Well,
go
let's
to bed.
let's figure out how we do this in the morning and get a good night's sleep. But Murdoch's right.
That's a very good idea, Faria. You're very smart.
I get
girl.
off the bed and I head to my room. Like, I'm not in. This is too dangerous.
There are gods above and below. I'm going to take it away.
You better do it in one shot.
Come, you two tiny folk. We're coming back to my room.
I thought Artemis was going with Lily. Okay.
Wait,
Who's
Oh,
going
Lydia.
with me?
No, sorry, you're
Because-
right. I turn Artemis and move towards Lydia. Just, let's go. God, there's so many women.
Excuse me.
It's
To pass you. Good night.
Artemis is a lady. Not a
Yeah.
lady, a lady.
I'm going to have a mental breakdown in my bed now. Thank you.
I meant for who Artemis stays with.
Let's all be there for you.
I pass out.
How
In the
many?
middle of Art's room?
No, in my bed, because I went to sleep.
How long was the boat trip to Mount Nevermind from here? I think I asked the sellers last time.
Oh, to be
We
honest, I
were
cannot
working.
remember.
I don't.
We just
I know we asked how to get there,
Oh, okay.
but I don't think we
Yeah.
asked prices.
No,
I know
it's
you
not
said that
prices.
we said it was possible.
It was time.
That's my passive racial, not a racial, like sailor thing. I can get that's passage wherever.
again, just check here.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
come in
remember
handy
you
often,
going down and
but-
checking,
Yeah, and they said they could
checking
take
that you
us.
could, but I don't think
Yeah.
you got any more information
Okay.
than that at that time.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but
Maybe that's why I don't forget because it didn't happen. Kind of thing.
Well, thankfully we're in a port city. Yeah, so we can.
Yeah, so
Hopefully
their
it's a
rough
little more.
estimate,
Mhm.
as they're looking at it, would be 3 to 4 weeks to get there.
Okay.
Oof. Oh, I made myself sad.
Dip in the morning.
I think over the night, Art would be transcribing a couple of the spell scrolls that they bought.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they would be doing during the evening?
you know, back sitting on my bed, I was like, so Rose, you can turn into a
Yes,
bear.
I can. You can too.
Well, I can turn into many animals. You're not by any chance a were
No.
bear?
No, that sounds exciting, but no.
Well, we've just met a lot of were creatures during our journeys,
well,
and it's always good to check,
That's
if you know what I mean.
don't have to worry about that with me.
That's good to know. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I'll attempt to use my sending scroll to
Oh, okay.
contact my boss. I will roll
Alrighty
to
then, so
see
go
if
ahead
it-
and roll your d20 and let's see if goes
6.
through. 6, and you are fine.
Alrighty, so she's just like, she sees the magic take hold and she says, Hex, we need to meet. Things are getting extreme. Plane shifted, attempted god summoning, multiple portals encountered, and one client dead. Meet me immediately. Code red.
Okay. A couple of moments goes by. Let's just see. Okay. A couple moments goes by, and eventually you get a response back. Yeah. That's quite the predicament you got yourself in. If you could find out what plane you find yourself in, I can attempt to meet you there.
I look at the sending scroll that is now ash. You stupid old man! Send me another message!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I sent a message to my boss.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very powerful wizard
Mm-hmm.
who specializes in this sort of thing,
Uh-huh.
but he doesn't remember that I don't have ample uses of sending spells. I was hoping that he would message me back so that I could tell him where we were. Stupid. Why are all the men so stupid, Sarah?
I peek into my purse. She doesn't mean it. It's okay. What if he sent you the words to say in order to redo the spell?
I'm not a wizard.
Me neither. We should ask Artemis in the morning.
Artemis has too much on their plate. I
Well,
will...
They could write it down. They love writing and reading.
If I happen upon another sending scroll, or if he gets his stuck-up nose out of his own back end, I will inform him of our predicament and hopefully he will be able to assist us.
Can you find a scrying pool? I've heard that scrying pools are something wizards use.
Scrying and sending are two different things. One is communicative and one is observation.
So that's a no.
I mean, I could use one, but it doesn't allow me to send him a message.
What? You know what you should get? You should get one of
Sending scroll.
those. You should get one of those rocks that people keep giving. That lets us talk to people.
He would need to have the other rock, and he is on another plane of existence in a very, very hidden away, sequestered headquarters.
You
And
could
also
send
probably
him,
is in bed and is asleep.
You could
be
send
entirely
him a gift basket when we get
Oh,
back.
Sarah. If we get back, then I don't need him anymore.
I don't. This is all too complex for me. Magic is too bureaucratic. I've just learned, and now you can't use the rocks or the
He
pool.
specializes in planeswalking. He would be able to come here of his own power and also get us home. But he doesn't pick up the phone! I mean, he does, but then he forgets that I can't keep sending him so... I will be on the lookout for more sending scrolls.
You should copy down the scrolls next time you get one, so you have unlimited scrolls.
I
Good.
will do that.
Good idea.
Glad that I have you on the case. Good night.
Murdoch has another minor fit laying in bed. The rest of the night passes somewhat easily for most of you as eventually sun slowly starts to creep up. You find yourself at the beginning of a new day. So the day is yours. What's your plan, folks?
Should we go by boat, or do you think there's another way to get to Mount Nevermind?
I think boat is the best way.
Alright.
We can't really report around.
Right, if we have nothing else to do in town, I can secure the passage as soon as possible.
Unless somebody knows somebody to ask. I'm not sure if even that's a thing here.
Hopefully,
I'd
I mean,
honestly be afraid of asking more magic because I'm told on.
Mm.
I'm sure
Fair
any
point.
world that you go to, though, sailors are still sailors. I'm sure you could find us a boat.
Unless it's a world of fish people.
Which we've already established it's not.
Go to neither.
Well, let's go book that boat so we can get started on those weeks right away.
Okay. So it's easy enough as you guys start approaching the docks. Furia, go ahead and... Not Furia, just Lydia. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Ooh, a D6.
Yep. And I see...
For how many warships you're about to buy.
6.
Okay. So as you're going through, there are a couple of them that, again, you're taking the point and you're having these conversations. There's a first couple you approach, they're looking for more coin. They want steel, they want silver for every passenger. They're not really willing to barter much for you. You do find one that is willing to accept your work and 2 silver pieces for each additional person for the full trip there. And the captain, the person that you're speaking with that's setting all this up, eventually, assuming you agree to their, discounted fare and whatnot, eventually brings you over to meet the captain. And as you are walking over, this person actually stands a good head taller than you. Massively built, 2 large horns coming out of its head, pointing slightly to the forward, as you're standing in front of a minotaur.
Ooh.
As he's standing there and what looks to have what looks to be almost like a some semblance of a battle axe. Long straight shaft on the back, sort of 2 bladed sides, but is fashioned to, looks very similar to most anchors. As eventually turns around to the group of you. So you're the ones who are trying to get over to Mount Gnome. Oh, we can get you there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Captain...
Name's Kaz, K-A-Z.
Excuse me. Did you just call it Mount Gnome?
No. Yes, taking you home, I take it. And haven't you been practicing? You speak almost like we do.
Practicing. Sure, yes. I suppose so.
And they just kind of like get lost in thought.
Right then.
They'll just kind of cease conversation and just kind of like scuttle.
Looks back over at Lydia.
It's nice of you to bring the little confused one home. It can be hard for him being out here, the rest of us talking so normal.
Friend is quite eloquent, but we're gonna get them where they need to be. Yes. So,
Well, based on the conditions, we should be there. It may take a month, 3.5, 4 weeks. We'll see how it goes, though.
thank you very much for taking us on. We appreciate it. What time are you leaving?
Should have everyone back within the next hour or two, so... Let's say it looks up at the sky a little bit. We can plan to depart by, we'll say noon. Get out right
Sounds
at midday.
good. Thank you. I will go back to the group, relay that information to everyone else, and if they weren't there, if they were there, then they heard that.
Well, Murdoch would have probably, before you went to go find ships, tried to make sure that it's a crew that's okay, because I can't be in disguise for a month. That they're okay with me.
True.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Lydia. Go ahead and. Let's say because it would have been a conversation.
Thrown over the side in the middle of the night.
Go ahead and I'll say make a persuasion check with advantage. Because you and that cat would have been speaking.
4.
Okay.
So 6.
Total.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm not
it's
a persuasive character.
As you're having the conversation, and again, you guys have the notice from the clerics at the High Tower. He does bump the cost to 5 silver for Murdoch instead of the 2 for everybody else. But says, it's you got the notice, but you're going to get some funny looks. So we're cost a little extra to look the other way.
I'll stay mostly below deck.
Okay. And anything, any last minute things or anything that anyone wants to take care of in the city before you head out?
Nothing I can think of.
This doesn't have to be a whole thing, but I just wanted to retcon that I got studded armor because Granny wants that 15 AC.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
And we'll say with advantage because this probably would have happened when you guys were out doing all your shopping together, so you would have had someone helping you.
Okay. You said make
investigation.
Oh, I'm good at those. Dirty 20.
Okay, yeah, easy enough for you to pick up studded leather.
Sorry, realized that Granny was rocking some pretty low armor. Should have bought that before, but thank you.
Okay. Anything else going on? Okay. So, eventually, noon rolls around as you guys have all sort of gathered your belongings, made your way down. The captain has shown, 5 of you. He has shown down to the basically the guest accommodations. They're not much. Think of if you've ever been on a cruise. Basically, it's like a cruise room. It's a little small closet type thing. It's got a bed. It's got a porthole window. That's about it. Small chest for you to keep some of your stuff if you need somewhere to stash it. Lydia, he shows you over to the crew area where you're helping out to get it at a lower cost for everyone. Get you set up with a bunk, and eventually starts out by asking you to help navigate, but then ends up putting you on more of the physical aspects of it. Bilge pump. At points when the winds die down, there's actually a group group of Minotaur that will actually have oars that they'll put down in the water and row for a little bit.
Ooh.
So there's, yeah, these guys are a little hardcore, but...
Yeah, hardcore, yeah. Cool.
Eventually you guys start making your way, and for the most part, it seems to be, pretty comfortable going, at least for the first little while. Is there anything anyone would be doing during this trek?
Once during my sorry.
It's the whole trek, the 3 weeks to a month.
Yep. Is there anything in specific? And again, we'll grab other points. But is there anything like overarching that you're looking at? People are looking to get taken care of during this time.
I just want to do one thing. One night when after a hard day of rowing and pushing and pulling, I want to take out my little bottle and say, Snow Moon, you would have thought this was the shit. And I'm going to sprinkle a little of his ashes on the deck.
Okay. And are you trying to be sneaky about this, or you just...
No.
Okay.
Just doing it. Just letting the wind kind of take a little.
Okay.
I would like to butter up the sailors with baked goods that they haven't had in months.
Or ever.
Or ever. This is better than hardtack.
Okay, anything you're trying to, other than butter them up, anything you're trying to get from them, or?
Trying to see if I can get them to maybe, go a little easier on our pockets when it comes to Murdoch. Give her a little bit of a better comfort if she so chooses. She so chooses.
She would try and negotiate a private place, and she would spin it in the sense of so that none of you have to be uncomfortable, just ignoring me. I'll take a closet, really, just somewhere where I can work in peace.
Go ahead and make a yeah, well, Sigma, you're the one trying to butter them up, so Sigma, go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage. As, yeah, the food they've got on these things is not exactly pleasant.
Natural 20!
Okay.
It was a 4 before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you definitely get them to sort of ease up on Murdoch a little bit, and you get your passive insight tells you they're being paid, and after the first 3 or 4 days, Murdoch hasn't tried to kill anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really seem to care too much. It's just okay, it's another paying customer.
I didn't find the sailor in the closet.
With my persuasion bonus, it was actually a 27, but...
Yeah, so they're definitely... Murdoch's got a little... Murdoch, you guys are sort of in these little, private hole-in-the-wall cell. It's a cross between a quarter and a cell, basically. It's a bunk and a window. So they actually bring in a small desk, so you've got somewhere you can work down there if you choose to.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
Over...
The first week, the first 10 days goes by with not a problem. Weather's nice. Wind dies down on one day, and that's unfortunately the day Lydia's a little sore, a little sweatier at the end of that day, but Art, Rose, Fury, anything the group of you would be doing during this trip?
I'd probably spend most of my time on deck, doing my best to keep out of the way. Probably find a good spot, practice my flute, offer my services as a water maker.
Oh, okay.
Maybe conjuring some rain on a really hot day or something like that. But just spending time out and looking up at the stars when I can.
The offer of water definitely goes a big way with these folks. As again, the first week is pretty good, but after that, they're starting to add citrus and stuff to the water to start killing off the crap growing in it. So the fact that they can just dump barrel out and, you know.
Yeah, I could do 10 gallons of fresh, plus I could do other things like, just a light tidal wave over the deck to just cool people off, or something like that. Then help it out.
Okay. Yeah, I could create some water too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd spend my time either looking out of the porthole window from like the room or just on deck, just kind of taking everything in since this is my first time on a boat.
Okay.
Murdoch would, in the beginning, it looks like she's just doing all of her regular bookkeeping stuff, but at some point she probably would try and spend some time with Rose, in the same way that she tried to do with everyone else, sort of in the beginning, and she would just she'd have her book where she's sort of written up her dossiers, her respectful dossiers on everybody, and just sort of be like, so Rose, I don't know if you've ever been chronicled before, but
Chronicled, no, but that sounds like it suits me. Let's give it a go.
sure. Do you want to, I don't know where you'd like to start. What's your story? Where does it begin in your mind?
Well, from the Nether Mountains. My family has been there for generations, mining gems and metals and what next? I guess how I got here. So our people hold a tournament of champions, could call it. We have combat, and the winner of that combat goes out into the world, basically, as a represent our clan and our people. As a sort of pilgrimage, and I won that tournament.
Great honor.
Very proud of it, indeed. So,
What sort of places did you go?
let's see. I mean, Waterdeep, anywhere I could, to really just anywhere new to make new discoveries, and then I found myself with all of you, and here now.
Did you do all of your traveling at home alone? Did you have any other group?
Not really. It was mostly solo, and I mean, I met people here and there, just drifting through, but this is the first group I've been together with, I guess you could say.
That is definitely an interesting story. How long have you been away from home then? How long have you been traveling?
It was a few 10-day, I think, before I found myself in this third plane that we find ourselves now, and
Oh my goodness.
it's kind of a blur since then, but
So possibly by the end of this ship's journey, you'll have spent equal amount of time outside of your clan as well as in an entirely different world.
yes, that's true. And this is my first time on a boat. This is very exciting.
That would be very true, I suppose. Hopefully no seasickness.
No, I've felt okay.
Good. Well, Rose, talk about being a representative. Now you're not only representing your people, you're representing an entire different world.
Yes.
I hope that doesn't weigh too heavily on
I
you.
didn't even think of it like that, but hey, I can handle it.
You seem like you've got a good head on your shoulders. Thank you for sharing your story with me.
Sure.
I'm sure the others would love to hear it as well, or share some of their own. I was the newest member of the group before you.
Oh, okay.
They all met in a tavern, and it just went crazy from there. So
How did you join our group here?
I was assigned to them because they were causing just enough trouble, but just enough good that they figured maybe having someone of legal representation, or at least someone that they were working with, hired me to sort of help smooth things over because they had a lot of potential.
Don't be too much of a stick in the mud now, okay?
I, in very recent times, have had a few experiences that I think have pointed me towards the fact that I need to loosen up a bit.
Ah, make a troublemaker out of you yet.
It'll probably go that way. I will plead that I don't know all the laws of this world. And so therefore I can't follow them all to the letter yet. Thank you for answering my questions.
Sure.
And she puts the book away. She puts that into her things on her desk. And the entire rest of this trip, instead of doing legal work or note taking or anything like that, she's going to work on writing music, which she's not done in like 30 years. She hasn't done it since she was in college. So
Okay.
that's what she's gonna do. That's what she's gonna work on. She's gonna write a song.
Furia Art, how about you two? Anything that you'd be working on during this time?
Assisting with those others in our group that can conjure water and things like that.
Okay.
Not directly asking, but seeing if I can like find out more about like why Kaz was calling it just like Mount Gnome. And if there's like any stereotypes surrounding that, or what, just doing some sneak.
You don't hear a whole lot of talking among the crew. The couple of times that you had, like, if you initiate conversation with the crew, you get the sense that they were getting ready to say something. Like when you start walking up to somebody, it's almost like they know what you're going to say and they go to say something, then you start speaking and it's like, and then they respond to you. So you're getting that sort of, even with just your passive insight, it's not hard to pick up on that there is definitely there's some sort of presumption about gnomes that seems to be prevalent, at least among the crew here.
Cool.
If you want, go ahead and make I'll say go ahead and make an insight check on the captain for that comment he made earlier about Mount Gnome.
17.
I do believe in the past somebody told us to just ignore gnomes when we mentioned we were going to want to go to... No, never mind.
So it's... You get the impression, based on, as Furia mentioned, other people have not really disparaged gnomes, but they seem to have a specific sort of feeling about them that you have to borderline be rude. And with the captain's conversation, you're getting the strong sense that this is, we'll call it the gnomish homeland. This is where the majority of gnomes are from.
Okay. Right. This sounds good. I also think like, not every night, but I feel like they would try out a couple of the spells given to them by that lovely orb.
Okay. Any specific?
Daylight, just to see.
Oh, okay. And you'd just be doing this out on the deck? You'd be doing this in your room? Where would Art be?
Probably like first couple times, just like obviously, they'll try to hide it. It's not going to work so well, but probably in what quarters they do have, and then yeah.
Oh,
Judging
okay.
on reactions, maybe we'll try it out on the deck one time, see what happens.
So, as you're playing around with it and casting daylight in your room, it's, well, phrase it, it's just as advertised. As in there, you pull this orb out and sort of sit down, sit it on your lap, and again, the first thing you notice is just the different colors swirling in it: the red, blue, black, green, the different colors of dragons. And as you sit and concentrate for a couple of moments and eventually cast the daylight spell through it, it just erupts in brilliant sunlight. As high noon on a cloudless day. As you cast it, it's one of those where you're like, okay, I'm good, really.
Okay.
And I'll just see, I'll make one. Is that? Okay. And nobody comes barging in, nobody comes kicking in the door. Everything seems fine.
Cool.
Art might have a little bit of a headache from the bright light in the room. It went from,
Yeah.
that single candle you've got lit there as you're studying in the dark, and then all of a sudden, oh, mother, God, don't make me turn the lights on.
Cool. Just with trepidation. Figure some stuff like that.
No worries. So, everything runs smooth for the first 2.5 weeks. On the 6th day of the 3rd week, well, I should say, what is everyone's schedule looking like? Are the majority of you, are you all sleeping at night, awake during the day, or is anyone taking watches at night, or are you just leaving that all to the crew?
I'm gonna do a 50-50 roll because I feel like if Murdoch got really into working on her song, she might have accidentally flipped her sleep schedule just by accident. Because I know I do that. She did. So she's actually been resting most of the day and then just kind of chilling at night. Oops.
I would probably be up for the first 2 hours of the night because I only need to sleep 6 hours, and then be sleeping those 6 hours.
Okay.
I would say... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
As we get further out into the ocean, more time goes on. Art would probably like take every couple days and kind of like stay up for a little bit just to see where they are and if they can see any landmass on the horizon, etc.
Okay. So we're gonna So, Art, do me a favor. Roll a percentile. So we're going to find out whether or not this day is one that you are up in the morning. If you roll 49 or 50 or lower, or 51 to 100, is you're up in the evening.
89.
Okay, so this is that day where you're going to be up a little later. So for what this means is, at this point we have Furia, Lydia, and Rose. Would you during the day, would you be hanging out on deck? Would you be hiding below?
Yeah, I think I'd be on deck. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Sarah, would you be spending your time on deck, or would you be spending the majority of your time like in the galley cooking and stuff?
Probably galley.
Okay, so we're gonna end up with Furia, Lydia, and Roz are up on deck at this point as things start occurring. And Art, Murdoch, and Sarah are below deck, with Art and Murdoch being within their own quarters, Sarah in the galley.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys are sailing along, the day is a little, wind's a little calmer. The majority of the crew right now is below deck, taking their, we're probably about midway through, so this is the second shift of this crew basically manning the oars to keep things moving. As a result of this, Lydia, the captain, has got you up on watch. And Lydia's not there, I just noticed.
I see. I hear. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
sorry, my dog climbed under the bed for some reason. Had to find him.
So, what I need from
Okay, so-
Lydia, unfortunately, is a perception check.
Oh, so perceptive right now. Okay.
You saw the dog under the bed. Did you see this?
I rolled an 11, so probably not. So it's 18 total.
Okay. Let's
Man, I
just
haven't
take
been rolling that high
here.
tonight.
18's not bad.
Okay.
You can see what looks to be a small wave approaching the ship.
Does it look like a rogue wave?
Lydia would know immediately that it's not normal, as the wind is calm.
Ah.
That's why the majority of the crew is down rowing. You did the first half of the morning,
Okay.
and now they've got the next group down as the winds really haven't picked up much, and you're seeing this again sort of a rolling log sort of approaching the sides, just this sort of bulge in the water. And as it starts to get a little closer from out in the distance, you can see as it passes from this sort of perfectly straight line, all of a sudden it starts almost to V a little bit, like something's leading it towards the boat.
Hey. Am I in the crow's nest or am I down on the... Oh, I'm gonna have a bell. I'm gonna start yelling, "Oi! There's something in the water coming towards us." Can I do anything? Let's see.
I'm pointed out to this thing. I'm gonna take a look as well.
Oh, okay.
Off the
I'll-
port bow.
Yeah, I'll run to the side, or wherever it's coming from, and then look at
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So both of you can go ahead and make perception checks, as the captain, who is currently on the wheel, is currently looking out that way as well.
19.
That is a 9 for me.
And Lydia, what were you looking for?
A spell.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna hold that though.
Alrighty then. So as what was yours, Rose?
9.
Oh, okay. So you don't catch this right away, but as the captain looking out and hearing Lydia call something out, both the captain and Furia would notice this. As coming from this sort of lead point of this now sort of getting more pronounced V, and it's starting to crest up more out of the water, you're starting to see Furia, you and the captain are seeing a rather pronounced dorsal fin as this thing is coming directly towards the ship. And that's where we're going to take our break this evening. As there is some probably copywritten suspenseful music running through some people's minds. But we will be back in just a few moments. We're going to top off our drinks, take care of facilities and whatnot, and we will see how our party deals with this, as they are 2.5 weeks out in the middle of the ocean with a strange, large dorsal fin approaching. And Lydia up in the crow's nest. So be back in a few moments, folks.
Are we
Gonna need a bigger boat.
As always.
No!
back, everyone. Thanks for bearing with us during that brief break. Wow, cannot speak this evening. So that is our party has started. Well, at least half of our party has started to notice something coming towards us. And the captain at the wheel is now starting to ring the alarm bell. I want everyone to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh,
And this
heck.
does include those of you down below. I will say it is, for all three of you, it is going to take your first round basically dashing to get up to the deck, though. Assuming you're coming up hearing the alarm bell. You may choose to stay down below and do your own thing, so...
I rolled an 11.
Okay, so hold on, so we got... and I should have been... Hold on, so we got... okay, that is all clustered right in the middle.
I don't think I've ever had a safe ship passage in D&D.
Well, I will, the little metagame, but I will let you guys know that out of all 4 weeks, this is the only day that something rolled would happen.
At least we didn't roll it for every single day. The relentless fish people climbing up on board.
Little bee eyes like a doll's eyes.
Okay. So, Rose, you said you have an 11?
Yes.
Okay, anyone 25 to 20?
20.
Okay, so we have 20, we got Murdoch. 15 to 20?
13.
Okay, so we have 13, Sarah.
15 to
Okay.
20 or 10
15 to 20.
to... Okay, no.
You know, 10 to 15.
14.
12.
Wait, Sarah, what did you say you had?
13.
Oh, okay. So, Lydia, you said 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have...
I don't know why my brain was like, yes, 15 to 20. That's what 13 does.
That's it threw me for a bit because I wrote it right and I'm like, wait. Fury, what was yours? 12?
12.
Okay.
15, 12, 11.
And then Art, what do you have?
5.
Okay. Then we have...
I was having a nap.
Okay.
You do that wake up where it looks like you're coming out of an exorcism.
Wake up!
Oh, wake up.
Why'd you leave your feet up on the table?
Good morning.
I'm just... Okay, then do... Okay, so we got everybody set up there. Okay, so we actually are starting this off with Murdoch. And Murdoch, hearing the alarms, would you be heading upstairs?
I would really quickly first look out my window and just see if I see anything there.
Okay. So, yes, you are on the proper side of the guest quarters. Are apparently on the proper side of the ship. So go ahead and we'll let you make a free perception check as you're looking out the window.
Straight even 10.
Okay. So you do see this sort of... It looks like a rather strange wave to you. It does look like there might be something in it, but at this distance and looking through this tiny little porthole, it's hard to make out really what it is. But you can definitely see something is coming towards the ship.
It definitely sounds like it's something I should go to the deck for. I will move and dash.
Okay, so
get
you
to
are
the deck.
you are able to get all the way up onto the deck. And basically, once you're on the deck, as you're coming up the stairs, If you use the rest of your dash, you could get right up to the sort of side railing if you chose to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can get a better look.
Yep.
How far is Lydia from me when Lydia is on top of the crow's nest?
Lydia's
high
up in
is
the crow's nest, so probably about, I'll guess like 60, maybe, yeah, like 50, 60 feet, give or take.
All right, my bardic inspiration goes to 60, so I'll call up to Lydia and I'll be like, Lydia, I've not been on a lot of ships. You're the most experienced sailor I know. Please be careful, but also tell me what to do. I believe in you. And I'll give you bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
Okay, so you have inspirations. That brings us. And actually, real quick, for Furia and Rose, who would also be on the deck, hearing this, would you guys have gone over to the rail? You guys would be on the railing as well, looking from before?
Yeah, it would be.
And since I didn't notice before, now that the bell's going off, am I like fully aware? Do I see this wave?
Well, you
yet?
can see the wave, but you don't see anything in it yet.
Okay.
As it's still, at this point, it is still about, again, from where you are, probably about 50 to 60 feet.
Okay.
Okay. And let's see here. Okay. So that will bring us over to that creature and those two. Gonna move closer. Okay, and actually, so as you're looking, and all three of you now, and actually, Lee, you would notice this as well as you're up in the crow's nest. Two of these, out of this wave, all of a sudden you see two things start to break and go a little sideways. And again, you're seeing similar dorsal fins come up as these things are sort of turning and now sort of coming at the side of the boat like this. And as they're coming up on the side, you notice as both of them leap out of the water. And out of the three individuals that are on the railing right there, one of them is going to try to bite Rose, and the other one is going to try to bite Murdoch. So apparently they both really want to go for Rose.
I died.
So let's see here. So the bite against Rose.
I'd like to die on my action.
We're having flashbacks.
That is a 22 to hit Rose.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so first one is you take 9 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength, either an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make an athletics check.
I don't think that's going to hit Murdoch. That's a 9?
No!
No. Sorry.
Okay, and Rose, what's your athletics check?
18.
Okay. As this thing jumps up and bites into the side of you, you can feel as it grabs and it sort of twists its body. It was trying to take you with it. And you manage to just get the jaws open enough that it falls back into the water. And as you look up, you can see one's jumping up and just sort of brushes against the side of the ship, and you can feel it just sway just a little bit as the two of them then crash down into the water and are back under the water. And that will bring us over to Lydia.
Going to cast. I think I can get where's my pen? I'm going to cast nothing. No, I'm going. There it is. No, that's not it. Blast.
You're going to cast
I'm
what?
going to determine that I'm 50 feet up in the air, and they're like are they within 120 feet of me? How about that?
The one dorsal fin you can still see at the moment is probably just about 120 feet away. The other two, is they, after the jump and landed back in the water, they're out of your vision.
In the water. I'm going to cast Control Water and redirect the flow of waves away from us.
Okay. So let's see here. Control water. And does it say if there's a saving throw or anything involved with that, or?
Not on that one. If I make a whirlpool, it does. But oh, this is 300 feet. Within 100 feet, I can just move it to go in the other direction.
Okay. So I'll say before you bring yourself, go ahead and make a spell casting check. D20 plus your wisdom.
Why can't I find my D20? No, I can't find anything, guys. Fine, I'm gonna use my phone to roll this because I can't put my dice randomly. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, luckily, I've got a D&D folder. Plus my wisdom.
Yep.
Which should be 4, so that's 30-20.
Oh, okay. So as you start to cast this, and you would realize that the wave itself, as you're looking at this, you're seeing it's not an actual flow of water. What you're seeing is the water being directed and moved as a result of something right underneath the surface.
Oh, so I couldn't make a wave?
Right. It's basically like if you were to swim an inch under the surface of the water, how you'd get that sort of wave appearance over the back of your head. It's basically there is a rather large fish swimming at you, which is making it look like there's a swell of a wave. Now, you would know that redirecting the flow will probably make it a little harder for it to swim.
Yeah.
But it's not going to stop it. So you can do it if you want to.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to do that for now, and just to kind of make it like, can I make it like kind of rocky in there? For them?
Oh, basically that's it. It'll make it difficult terrain for them, so it'll have to speed.
Okay, that's what I plan to do. Okay, cool.
Okay. So that brings us to another two of them. Actually, what is the area?
100 feet.
Okay, yeah, so it's going to affect all of them. So the one in the middle is just going to fight its way through it. And it's just going to use its movement and then dash. And you watch as that larger dorsal fin that was leading the sort of dips down under the water. The other one is going to move up, so it's not that distance. How far can it? 20, that's 30. Yeah, it's going to be just out of range, so it's going to use its movement and dash to get right up next to the boat. So this one comes in from the side a little bit, and those of you on the railing are able to see the fin is still up in the water. Lydia, at your angle being up on the crow's nest, you're probably not able to see this one anymore.
Okay.
But again, it is still difficult to reinforce. So that's going to bring us to Sarah down in the galley. You can hear alarm bells going off. You can hear some sort of commotion.
Oh, that's not good. I'm going to rush up topside.
Oh, okay. So again, same thing as Mark. You get all the way up. You can use the. You would have used your movement and dash to get up to the deck. You can use the remainder of your movement. You can see right as you turn and look. Furia and Murdoch are standing on the right against the railing. They seem to be fine. Rose looks like she's bleeding a little bit, but other than that, seems to be okay. And you don't really see anything else from where you are at the moment.
Okay. So I already used my movement, correct?
Would be your movement and dash. Now, I think as a rogue, you can use cunning action to dash. So you could use that if you have cunning action and can do that, then you would be able to get to the railing and you'd still have your action.
Okay. I would like to make my way over to Rose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can get right beside Rose easy enough. So you've still got your action left then.
I would like to pop open a healing potion and hand that to her if I'm able to. I don't know if that's too...
Yeah, so it would be an action for you to actually feed it to Rose.
Okay. I just want to hand it to her.
Okay, yes, that's just a free action. Just
drink this, you'll feel better.
Well, I don't need it just yet, but take it.
Just keep it on you. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Alright, and I'll just kind of tuck it away.
okay.
Flashbacks.
Okay.
So I still have an action?
You would have an action, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting ready my crossbow.
Oh, okay. You see there is one... You can see one dorsal fin about... From where you are, it's probably about 35, 40 feet away.
I'm gonna wait until I can actually, see a little bit more than a dorsal fin.
No worries. Okay, then that'll bring us over to Furia.
I would like to cast water breathing on everybody that I can see on deck. Up to 10 people, focusing on my party members first, and then washing over to everybody else.
Oh, okay. What's the range on it?
Just in case. 30 feet.
Okay, so you can hit everybody with the
So I guess I
exception
would
of-
not get Lydia up in the crow's net.
Yeah. So you can hit Lydia.
Then I would.
Rather, you can hit the 4 of your friends that you see on deck. You can hit the captain and one of the people on the ballista towards near the captain.
That is pretty much my turn.
Okay. So that brings us over to the next individual, next one of those creatures. That, again, thanks to Lydia's spell, has to use its movement and dash to get near the ship. But so it is going to do that. And that'll bring us to Rose.
So, all I can see is just dorsal fins again.
Right now you see 2 dorsal fins. There's one that's right over, sort of in, mind you, in the water, in between Murdoch and Furia. And there's another one that is heading more towards you. That is probably about 10 feet away, just out. But as it stands right now, all that's sticking out of the water is the dorsal fin on this one.
And I guess with the first one that attacked me, I get a sense of how close it was before it jumped up, gauge whether or not this next fin I see is just set to jump.
I'll say, go ahead and make a perception check. Let's see how perceptive you were when this thing was jumping up at you.
Oh, nat 20.
Okay, yeah, so you're pretty sure that this thing can jump up from where it is and come after you.
Okay, Alright, I will... Yeah, I will rage.
Okay.
So you see Rose's hands start to extend a little bit more to look like claws, and her shoulders kind of hunch a bit, and you see fur grow on her back and her shoulders, and she wields her battle axe, and I guess I'll just ready attack if
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, you can
If I
definitely
can, anticipate. Yeah.
What's the trigger? I'm assuming when one of them gets near you.
Yeah, like if I can manage to swing at it as it jumps by.
Oh yeah, I can't see why that would be a problem.
Okay.
And that'll bring us over to Artemis, who is hearing all heck break loose upstairs.
Go boy! I'm going to use my full movement dash to get up on top.
Yeah, again, easy enough to do. Are you moving over to the railing where it seems the majority of your party is sort of gathering?
Majority being...
Everybody but Lydia.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, as you're running up, you don't notice Lydia right away. It's...
Right.
Okay. So that brings us over to the actual crew members on the ship. So, let's see here. Okay. So they are going to set off the two ballistas shooting down. Basically one from the front end, one coming back, trying to hit into both of these. Let's see here. That is it. At least one of those is going to hit. Wait a second here. Where did my thing go? Oh yes, that will. Yep. So one of them does manage to hit. Actually, does a decent amount of damage as well. Okay. So on the second one, as you hear, and those of you right on the railing see this massive wooden ballista bolt slam into the side of one of these, what you are now thinking are very large sharks. The other one misses a little wide and is just whoosh, and just down somewhere under the water. A couple of moments later, you see it start to float and just sort of bobbing on the surface now. And that'll bring us back to the top of the order with Murdoch.
Okay. Put a quick little boot up on the railing and try and lean over. How many do I see?
Right now you can see two dorsal fins sticking up.
And how far away are they from me if I go, like, down to the water?
Yeah, probably, like 30-ish feet.
30?
Yeah, one of them is the one that literally jumped up and took a bite out of Rose. The other one was the one that tried to take a bite out of you.
Yeah, okay. So I will take a little bit of the blood that was spattered on me from Rose, and I will place it along one of the strings of my violin, and then as I pull the bow across that string, I will cast Bane on those two sharks.
Okay.
Charisma save 15.
How much charisma does a shark have?
Hopefully not a lot.
His modifier is a -2.
That's a big grin, I mean.
That's true.
So that is a... Ooh, what did you say it was?
15?
Damn it.
Yay.
we got a -1 and a
Okay.
14.
Woo! Okay. So that'll be a negative D4 to all of their attacks and future saving throws.
Lovely.
Okay, so we're going to. That is on you two.
And Murdoch is going to say, everyone, I really think that we should get away from the side of the ship. And I will follow my own advice and move to the base of the mast.
Okay.
Even possibly try to like slip around it and take a little bit of cover behind it, like crouch down a bit.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely
that'll
easily
be-
doable with your movement.
I think I'm gonna. Let's see. I see Sarah's got that crossbow loaded, so I'll say, Sarah, you know, now is most definitely the time to use that. Now is the time, and I'm going to give you bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
And I'll end my turn.
Okay. That brings us to the two that have just been baned. And let's see, they've got 4 people up on the railing right now. Let's see who they're gonna go after here. Okay. So we have Furia and Sarah. As these two individuals are jumping, again, sort of circling back around and are jumping back out at the two of you that are by the railing. First one at Furia is a... nope, that's an 11. I don't think that's going to do it.
No.
Okay, and then at Sarah... 16?
Minus the D4
Oh,
from the Bane.
thank you. It wouldn't have mattered with Furia.
What's the matter with me?
15. 1 on the die.
15 just hits.
75% chance of helping you.
Am I able to do the action with the crossbow since I had it readied, or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can fire that as well.
Okay, I'd
And-
like to fire at the one coming for me.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and make your attack roll. You will also take 16 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And I need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check.
Athletics or acrobatics? Let's
You have-
do acrobatics.
And you have a D8 that you can add.
Okay, so first roll for the firing. Okay. Plus my proficiency bonus. Okay, so it's 22 for the crossbow bolt.
Okay,
Hitting.
yep, so that'll hit.
Okay. And then for the acrobatics save. That is a
Now you're adding your, you're taking the D8 or
Profici-
no?
it's a 15, so I'll save the D8.
Oh, okay. So you are successful, so you do take your 16 points of piercing damage.
Uh-huh.
But again, much like what happened with Rose, the teeth just can't manage to get a good enough grip on you and just fall back into the water.
Okay.
And then how much damage did your crossbow bolt do? And that brings us over to you, Lydia, on deck.
7.
Okay.
Oh wait, plus proficiency bonus.
Not for damage.
Not for damage? Okay, never mind. 7.
Okay, so you are good to go. And that brings us over to Lydia as it falls back in, and there is now a crossbow bolt sticking out of the side of its jaw.
Alright. I'm going to start a whirlpool 25 feet away from the boat.
Okay.
In hopes that the creatures are a little stacked so they get pulled in.
Okay, let's see here. Whirlpool in the water and within 25 feet. Okay. So, use your object within 25 feet is pulled towards it. Okay, yeah, so that. Okay, so yeah, it'll. And how far away from the ship are you?
25 feet.
Oh, okay, so it's literally.
Just at the cusp.
So it's 50 feet wide at the top. Yeah, so it's. Yeah, you're putting it right at the side. So yeah, that is going to impact them all as they will have to start making saves to swim away from it. Okay. Anything else that you're... Okay,
Nope.
So that brings us to 2 more of them. So the first thing they have to do... and what's your spell save DC?
15.
15, okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's a... let's see here.
I realized that they probably have strength. I should have.
Okay, so
Wait,
one of them actually does manage to get away from it. The other one does not.
Oh,
So that one that does not is going to take some damage, I think. So go ahead and roll your 2d8.
7 plus 3, so 10.
Okay, so that is 10 points of damage to number 4. Okay, and number 1 manages to get out of there, so it doesn't take any damage. And is going to jump up at the group of 4 people on... Yeah, 4 people on the deck. Let's see who's... Oh, wait, that's one die. Okay, so this one is... So it's going back after Rose, unfortunately. Jumping up, and this will trigger your held action as this one is coming up at you. Okay, yeah, that is definitely going to hit you. That is a 24.
Oof, yeah.
Okay, so first thing I need you to do is make a strength saving throw for me. Athletics check.
Yeah.
Just
Is a 16.
Oh, okay. And do you have advantage on those when you're raging?
On it, let me check.
Pretty sure you do. But
Yes,
either way,
I
the
do. Yep,
either way,
you're
the
right.
16 makes it.
Okay, so yeah, 18 now with advantage.
Okay. So, again, same thing, you were able to slip out of it as this thing lands on the deck beside you. You take 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And as you're looking at this creature in front of you, it looks to be a massive shark. There are scars carved into its body and burn marks on it as it's on the deck in front of you, sitting there, and you're watching as it's just breathing heavily, looking at you. And that is going to bring us to Sarah.
Oh, it's about to be time for shark fin soup, and I pull out my dagger and go over towards the shark.
Okay.
I'd like to stab it in the eye.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
And I'm proficient in daggers, or do I add a proficiency bonus when it's an attack roll?
Yes, you add your... it'll be a d20 plus your either strength or dex, depending on which way you're handling your dagger.
X
And
please.
then, yep, and then your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so that plus not the saving throw. There we go. Plus that. That is a dirty 20.
So that'll hit. So go ahead and roll your damage. And this is the damage die for your dagger plus your dex mod.
Dagger 4 plus 3. That's not a D4. There we go. My hands are covered in pizza. There we go. 6.
Okay. You managed to jab your dagger into this thing. And you're close enough that you're probably noticing the same thing. Well, Rose is a little angry, so may not have noticed. This fish is just looks to be comfortably breathing on the deck. Well, maybe not comfortably now. There's a dagger stuck into it, but does not appear to be in any discomfort beyond the dagger.
So it's not breathing in the sense of like when you take a fish out of the water, it does like the gasping. Like it's just chill breathing.
It's just. It's angry fish breathing.
Feria, do sharks usually do this?
And that actually brings us
no.
to Feria.
Not where we're from. Sharks don't. I mean, when I turn into a shark, this doesn't happen. I got a question. I'm assuming we're still moving forward while we're in this boat. You know, so
Correct, yes.
something like Call Lightning probably wouldn't be the best choice. Okay.
Hard to
Seeing
say,
that
it
there
depends-
is now a
depends
shark
on
on
how
the
long this
deck,
takes,
I am going
you
to
know.
go over it. Right, but I think we're going to move more than 60 feet in a couple rounds.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Because that's the range, is 60 feet. Yeah, okay. So I am going to do double short / scimitars and waltz my way over to this shark on the deck.
Oh,
Take a
okay.
couple stabs at it.
Okay, go ahead and make your swings. At this point, you'll probably have advantage on these as Sarah's on one side, Roswin is right there, so you guys are pretty much starting to get this thing a little clustered into the...
Alright, so, well, the first one with advantage was still only a 10, but the second one was like 24.
Oh, okay, yeah, so the first one's going to miss, the second will.
Math is... That is 8 points of silvered slashing damage. I don't know if that matters, but it is a silvered sword.
It definitely does not look happy. But it is still looking pretty good at this point. Okay, and staying where you are?
Yeah, I think so. If I can move within range of the shark in case I don't want it to take attack at me, but away from the railing, if possible. Slightly.
Yeah, I'll say you can...
If not, I'll just
circle
stay where I
around.
am.
No, it's a large enough creature that you can
Okay.
probably circle around it a little bit. Okay, so that'll bring us over to another one of those, which has to make its saving throw to see if it can stay out of the vortex. And that it's a strength save for the vortex. Okay, yes, that's a 16, so that's okay. So it is going to make its way out and jump up and attack one of the two people left on the railing. So it's got either Art or Rose. Okay, and this one is actually coming at Art. Let's see here.
Cool.
Oh, okay, that is a 17 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. So, Art, I need either a athletics or an acrobatics check.
Man, they both suck.
Damage is not bad. The total damage is 7 piercing damage. Very low
Cool.
on the die.
Oh, just realized. So when I got hit the second time with piercing damage, since I was raging, I'm resistant.
Okay, so that would have been half.
Right.
So yeah, okay.
12.
Okay, as you watch as this shark jumps up and bites into Art and does that same little twist, and you watch as Art plummets. Art, you are now currently grappled in the mouth of this creature.
Deuces. Okay.
And are now underwater.
But you can.
No, Art wasn't on the deck.
Wasn't on deck.
What's your constitution modifier?
Good question. 1?
Okay, so basically, you have 10 rounds before you would start suffocating.
Cool.
Because it's basically, it's, if I remember correctly, it's constitution modifier number of minutes that you can hold your breath. So, got a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. And that will bring us to Roz.
Alright, so guess raging, I'm just going to recklessly swing my axe at this shark that's in front of me.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack.
That is a 10 to hit.
Okay, so that is going to miss.
And I do get 2 attacks.
Okay.
I will swing one more time. There we go. That's a 26 to hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
That is 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay, this thing is starting to look a little rough. Anything else you're doing? Staying where you are?
Yeah, I think I'll just stay. She'll just stay where she is.
Okay,
She's
so
raging. She probably didn't really notice Art is in trouble.
no, and
just
there's
yet.
this is a massive creature that's in front of you. You probably can't. You probably didn't even see Furia sort of come running up to the back of it and hack into it until she stepped around the side of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that brings us to Artemis, who is currently underwater.
Feels good. So I just have like a logistics question.
Okay.
What would happen if I cast floating disc? Because I'm not exactly on ground, and that's like one of the stipulations.
So
What I want to do is just cast it inside the mouth of this thing and see what happens. But I don't know if that's something I can do.
So
Technically, the inside of a mouth is solid ground.
yeah, floating disc just follows at a level. Basically, it stays on level at a level surface, I'll call it, following behind you. So if you were to cast it inside the creature's mouth, as the creature dragged you around, it would just follow along. It doesn't raise or lower, so it's not like you could cast it like Bigby's hand and say, "Oh, I pushed the mouth open."
I was just kind of wanting to explode it from the inside. Okay,
Yeah, no, this is a very large creature. You get the thought that it could probably swallow you whole.
Cool. Could I realistically cast poison spray? Cause I'm kind of right smack dab where poison would
Yeah, you
would
can
be
do
nice to go. Okay, cool.
it.
Sounds
Does
good.
it have a somatic, or sorry, a verbal component?
Damn it. Yes.
So you can do it. You are using some of the air in your lungs, though. It's going to reduce the amount of time you can hold your breath. So what I would say is each time you cast a spell, it would knock 1 round off of before you would start suffocating.
Okay. Yeah. I'm panicking at the moment, so yes, I'll do that for
Okay.
right now.
Okay. So that is a saving throw, right?
Yep.
Then what is it? Dex save?
Con
Oh, okay.
15.
Yeah, that's a 1, so that's gonna fail. Let's go ahead and roll some damage.
I need this. You gotta be kidding me! Okay. It's a whole 4.
Okay. And does poison spray, does it cause the poison to condition or no?
No, it's just.
I don't think so, but I can't remember.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, okay. So we have, that brings us to our crew then. Who they are still, you can hear the captain is now calling out to people to keep us moving and trying to get things moving, keep things moving along. And you can see, Lydia, you would notice this up top, as you can see this vortex that you had created is very quickly starting to sort of fade to the back of the ship.
Right.
That brings us over to Murdoch. As well, they're doing that. The 2 on the ballista are now starting to reload the ballista to take another shot.
Alrighty then. Art's still grappled.
Yep. Art, you watched as this thing jumped up, grabbed Art, and then vanished back over the side.
What is a bard if not dramatic? Let me run over to the side of the ship and do a nice little dive after our wonderful wizard.
Okay.
I can breathe underwater.
And turn into a shark.
You can turn into a shark, but
And as you run over and dive into the water, I need you to make a strength saving throw. Oh, sorry, athletics check against
Athletics check, I'm good.
against Lydia's spell save DC,
Oh.
as you are now within that sort of 10 feet of the whirlpool and starting to get sort of pulled towards it.
oh, duty, I rolled low. It's 13.
As Murdoch starts getting sucked into the vortex.
I was thinking
Okay.
it was going to the back of the ship.
Yeah, it is, but it is a 50-foot wide vortex that she created.
Oh, it's really big.
Yeah, it's
Well-
a massive whirlpool.
Well, so is it difficult terrain, or am I pulled away? What happens?
So you're starting to get pulled into it. You are going to take a little bit of damage.
Okay.
Lydia, go ahead and roll your damage for that. And then,
Dang diddly dang it. I was thinking it was smaller. But
yeah,
something.
so you still have your action, but you are considered grappled by this vortex, slowly just circling and getting pulled in closer. You can see a little further down this vortex, you can see there is a very angry looking shark that is stuck in it as well. But you can also see there is another shark underwater and a weird sort of green, looks almost like an ink cloud at the front of the shark.
Ew. Okay. How much damage am I taking?
7.
What damage type is it?
Bludgeoning.
I'm resistant to bludgeoning now. Little rain.
Oh, there you go.
So that.
So yeah, you can use your action to try to break out of it, or you can just do other things. And
I'm gonna see if I lose Bane. I'll probably cast something else anyway. I don't lose Bane.
okay.
Okay. So how far away is the shark that had bit Art?
The one that has Art from where you are is probably about 25 feet, if that. I mean, you jumped right, you followed in right after it. The only difference is it was able to get out of the whirlpool and you just got pulled 10 feet.
As I come around, she's going to cast Charm Monster.
Okay.
On it, and I will use my bonus action or I'll use my Bardic Inspiration rather to give it a negative D8 because I really want it to stick. As she's like, "You stupid fool!" Well, I mean, she can talk, but please come back and help me.
Okay.
I'm gonna call my friend. A negative 8.
Yep,
to
let me just see
its
if it's
wisdom
even
save.
needed. And what
I
your
wanted to
DC's a 15?
DC's 15, has a negative 8 to the roll.
Oh, it's just a flat negative 8? It's not a D8?
Well, I rolled an 8 on the D8.
Oh. Okay, because that... Well, it didn't need the 8. It needed at least a 2. Because it was at a 16. So, yeah, it is...
It is
charmed.
Charmed by me. That is my action, and I think also my bonus action. So I'm just gonna sit here and spin.
Okay, so that brings us over to
now.
the 2 that had been baned, that are no longer baned. But actually, they have to make their saving throws
I
as
had
well.
a different plan to save the wizard. It didn't work out, but we'll try next time. Or Furia will
Okay.
turn into a shark.
So, one of the ones that is baned is now pulled into the vortex with Murdoch. And then the other one manages to
Just
stay out
chilling
of
in a
it.
whirlpool with shark.
Bludgeoning.
I'm sorry, you said 8?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one manages to get out, so it is jumping up at the deck. It's got... Actually, there's only one person that it can see on the railing as it jumps up, which is Roswin. I was going to take a bite at Roswin. Okay, and that is a 22 to hit.
Jeez, yep.
Why do they always roll so high on
Monster rolls against
It's
me.
These things have a ability called Blood Frenzy. They have advantage on attack rolls against anyone who's not at full health. So after that first one hit Roswell, every attack since has been at
I
advantage.
gave you a healing potion.
It's not gonna help at this point.
So
Well,
that
I
is...
mean,
All right,
but
I don't
she'll
need
still
it
be
just
bleeding.
yet.
Okay, so that is 13 points of piercing, halved to 6, as you're
Okay.
raging. Then I need another athletics check.
All right. 18, and that's
Okay, yeah,
been
that's... you
without
make it.
advantage.
Okay, so that ends there go, and that brings us to Lydia. Well, Lydia, you've watched Art get pulled off the boat. You just watched Murdoch dive over next to your vortex.
Yeah, once I see Art and Murdoch go off in the same area, I'm gonna look at it and go... And I'm gonna part the water in that area.
Okay. So let's see
I'm gonna
here.
create a trench.
Yep. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Okay.
Very fun, very cool.
And you're doing this further away, so it's not, the boat is not within this affected area?
Right.
Okay.
Let my people go!
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Murdoch, Art, and a couple of sharks now. I need dexterity saving throws, as all of a sudden you were in water, and you're now just free falling.
Sorry.
Okay.
Best way to get you breathing.
So yes, Artemis, you do get a full lung of air. I'm going to say you do have disadvantage on the saving throw, Art, as you are currently grappled in something's mouth as it's falling.
Oh yeah, baby.
18 for me. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, you'll be okay. The couple of sharks. Actually, that may help Art. That's the one that was holding Art failed. The one that was in the whirlpool with you actually did okay. So Murdoch and there was one other that actually just got pulled in. Let me get him too. Ooh. You said yours is a 15, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that one fails as well. Okay, Art, what'd you roll?
11.
Okay, so you as well as two of the sharks do fail. Lydia, I'm going to say go ahead and roll 2d6 as they are falling about 20 feet down. And just it's not usually far, but still, you fall on water, it still hurts like a bitch.
Yeah. 6.
Okay, so we have...
Oh,
Okay, so you failed. So
It's
Art,
probably too late now, but I do have feather falling. I could cast that as a reaction, but I don't. With that,
huh.
it's okay if it's too late.
No, it's...
No.
Okay, so what I'll say is you can do that if you want. It's not going to free you, but it will prevent you from taking the fall damage. So you're still grappled, you're still falling with the shark, but it'll just stop you from that 6 points of damage you would have taken from falling.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh, okay. So this thing is, it's fallen I'm going to have this thing just make a check to see whether or not it actually manages to keep its bite on you. Because all of a sudden it's out of, yeah, that's a 21, so it manages to hold on to you.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it is
He's also
now,
my friend.
Oh yeah.
So it's okay.
Named
That
Aquaman.
brings us in there, and that brings us over to. Okay, we've got two more.
Doing
Okay,
that
so-
weird wily coyote thing where I stay in the air.
You hold up the sign that says "Yikes."
That brings us to two more. So it has. Well, it's surrounded on by three of you for this one. Dice decide. It really has a thing for freaking Raws.
You're still a ghost.
Bite size? Snack size?
You know, it's got
Hang on.
That's an 18, so I'm assuming that's gonna hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
Okay, so I need another athletics check from you.
Alright. That's a 26, even
Okay, yeah,
without
you're-
my advantage roll.
So that is 19 points of piercing damage, half to
Oh.
10.
Boy. Okay.
And then that leaves us the other one that was in the vortex that is actually saved is near Murdoch now, at the bottom of the vortex, so it's going to take a bite at Murdoch.
Rude.
And that's a 14?
That'll hit.
Okay. So that is... And again, dirt on the die. That is 6 points of piercing damage.
Yow.
Two ones on the die. And then you still have concentration on your spell?
Well, so I learned, I double checked, Charm Monster is not concentration, so I would have still had Bane, but I would have lost it now anyway from that hit.
Oh, okay. And then I need either an athletics or acrobatics check.
Athletics, please.
Charm Monster? Wow, that is OP.
18.
Oh, yeah,
Nope.
you're
Charm Person, Charm Monster, not concentration.
weird.
Not weird.
Yeah.
Good.
Um,
Suggestion is concentration.
Yeah. That just blows my mind. Oh, okay, yeah, so that thing is right to you. But
It's
again,
my
yeah,
entire character. I'm charming.
Okay,
Even
so
when
you
I'm being
managed to
bit
dodge
by
getting
a shark.
chewed on. And that brings us to Sarah.
So, is the one that I stabbed still on the deck?
Yep.
I'd like to,
It just took another
Take-
bite out of Roz in front of you. Roz is
Oh,
looking
I'm-
a little rough, I think.
I'm getting sick of
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna take the knife and like drag it across the eye, so kind of like a yank and pull.
Okay, go ahead
Deal.
and make an attack roll.
Okay. What is that? That is. Uh, 7.
Oh, okay, so 7 unfortunately is not going to hit. As you
Can-
go to start dragging through it, and it just lunged forward and is taking a bite out of Roz, it seems to have dislodged your dagger. You've got
Can
a
I?
bonus action and movement left.
Can I put my crossbow up against it and do a little? Into
You'd
it?
have to wait till your next turn because it would be another action to attack.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so staying where you are.
I'm gonna back up a little bit and then ready my crossbow.
Oh, okay, so if you're leaving its range, it may try to grab you. May try to bite you.
But you see, I have. I would like to still try.
Oh, okay. If you're gonna, it's gonna try to take a bite at you. That's a 15 to hit. I think that is your AC, right?
It does, but I'm going to use an uncanny dodge so that it's
Sure.
halved at least.
Oh, okay. So that is 19 points of piercing damage, halved to 9.
Okay, Grammy's looking a little rough. Can I just pull it
And-
out?
I need you to make an acrobatics or athletics check to see whether or not it grapples you.
Acrobatics!
Okay, go ahead and make your check.
Have you used your
Still-
inspiration yet?
Yeah,
Everyone,
do you still have that D8?
Oh, I do!
everyone has it.
Yeah, you do have the D8.
I
10
do.
minutes.
Let me. Is
Those
it?
aren't cheap.
No. Is it? So, yes. Okay. 11 plus 3. That's a 14, and then I'm gonna use the D8 for another 7.
Okay, you are, as you hear Murdoch's words comforting you, as these teeth rake into you, you manage to just get yourself out of its mouth and take a couple of steps back, and you are now out of its range.
Now is the time to use the crossbow. Against your
No.
And strange enough, you're hearing this voice come out of this massive hole in the ocean. And that brings us to Furia.
All right, I would like to move out of range of this, 10 feet away from this thing that might be called a shark here. what does the seascape outside the ship look like at the moment? Is there still the whirlpool? What's going on out there?
As you turn and look, it looks like somebody basically cut a massive rectangle out of the ocean. And there is just a giant rectangular hole in the ocean. And as you sort of look down over, you can see Murdoch and a shark right next to each other. And you see another shark and just a shock of pink coming out of its mouth.
Would I be able to safely dive over the edge as a shark? Would I take damage hitting the water like that?
Depends on what you're aiming for. If you're just jumping into the water and you're not jumping into the trench, then yeah, it's only like 20, 25 feet down. It's regular dive. If you're aiming at the trench to get all the way down to like Art or Murdoch, then yeah, you're jumping like 50, 60 feet straight down. So you take a little bit of damage when you hit the ground.
Is there water at the bottom of this trench, or is it
It's
is it all the way down to the bottom?
No, it's not all the way down. So it's you're
okay.
hitting,
It's like I don't know how deep it is here.
Yeah, you're still hitting water, but it's basically jump on cliff dive and belly flop from 50 feet, and it's again you won't be taking 6d10. You'd be taking maybe 6d6. You'd be probably taking 2d6 if you were to jump all the way down there. Because it hurts. It's not horrible, but it's still.
Yeah, I'll run up to the edge of the ship. Please, nobody else jump overboard. I'm a trained shark. I'll jump over, and mid-fall, I'll cast polymorph on myself and turn into a giant shark. And aim for the trench and the shock of pink hair.
Alrighty then. So go ahead and make a dexterity save.
Nat 20.
Okay, so you are fine. You actually won't take damage. You managed to land down. And go ahead and I'll say roll one more d20. We're just going to see how well you aim and whether or not you actually land on the shark that's currently holding Art.
That is a 15.
Okay. And we'll say that's enough. So this thing's going to make a con save to see whether or not a giant shark landing on its back is enough to make it want to cough up a gnome. And that is a 19. This thing does not want to let go of Art. That's a 19 on the die. That puts it over 20 again.
Come on.
Okay, I want it to stay grappling you now because it's my friend. It's okay. It's okay. You're gonna be okay.
That's action and probably all movement. So I'm just going to do my best to stay near the shark. That's my turn.
And it didn't take any damage from it, so it's still charmed. Okay, so that's going to bring us over to the shark that currently has Art in its mouth. And it was instructed to spit out Art and come get Murdoch. So it is literally just going to spit you into the water. And then turn and use its movement over to get underneath Murdoch. Then basically just come right up underneath you, almost like a little
I grab its little dorsal fin.
Yep. And that's all you told it to do, so it's just gonna stop there.
I'll take it.
And that brings us to Roz.
I guess my first question is, am I still raging? It lasts for a minute.
Oh yeah, it's been 3 rounds, maybe 4. So it's only been, it hasn't even been 30 seconds yet.
Okay. Yeah, I guess since I'm still raging, I'm just gonna head and swing my axe at the shark that's in front of me again.
Okay, go ahead and take your swings.
21 to hit
That'll
for
hit.
the first one. 7 points of slashing damage. And one more swing. Ooh, that is only a 10 to hit.
Okay, second one is gonna miss.
Yeah, I think that's it. That'll be my turn.
Okay. So Art, that's gonna bring us to you. There is another shark beside you. The one that was chewing on you just spit you out. And is now basically it looks like Murdoch is riding it, but there's another shark beside Murdoch as well. That looks like it's, trying to take a bite out of him. Her.
I'm freaking out, but for a different shark, I guess. I'm holding my breath. I guess I'm just trying to work my way to the surface so I can breathe.
Okay. That's it. Easy enough. At this, where you sort of get spit out, you're probably about 45 to 50 feet down. So you could use movement and dash to get up to the surface if you wanted to.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay. Easy enough, and it doesn't look like the shark that was right near you is taking any bites at you. It's just letting you go.
We'd have other problems if. Cool.
Okay. Get to the crew, who currently there is. Okay, the one on the deck. We have those two, and those two are down by the vortex right now. Can't go. This one's charmed. Yeah, so they really can't see anyone to take a shot at, so they're just gonna take aim as they keep moving and wait for the opportunity to shoot at somebody. That's gonna bring us back over to Murdoch, who is currently riding the back of his charmed shark.
So am I considered to be mounted on the shark, or am I just riding on it?
I'll say up to you.
Okay, because if I'm mounted, I believe on my turn I can use
if you're
its
mounted,
movement.
right? You can use its movement in place of yours.
All right.
So, I mean, I would say you wouldn't be able to make it dash because it's used half its movement. So at least on this turn, you would only be able to move its own movement, which it has a 40-foot swim speed.
Okay, but does it got that jump that they've been doing, or have they just been doing their?
No, that's it. That is its attack action. So its attack action, it can basically it can jump 15 feet and try to bite someone.
So, would I be able to, in theory, have it attack the railing and so therefore jump me up out of the water back to the ship?
Yeah.
Is that realistic?
Sure, why not?
Okay, that's the first question. Now, Art is at the surface.
Yep.
If I can do this, that'll be amazing, and I will buy myself a drink. I'm going to attempt to try and have it do that. Art is a little small gnome. I want to come up and have it do that under Art and take my bag of holding and just scoop up their little feet and get both of us to leap up back to the deck together. I'll use my everything.
Okay,
That's cruelty.
This is too much fun not to have this try. So first, roll a d20 for me. Let's see how well the shark does actually trying to jump to get to the side of the boat.
I'm not a pool toy. Why is this happening to me?
Oh no! It's a natural one!
I hate everything.
Okay,
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to have fun. Fun in the water.
Second part. Go ahead and roll a d20, and we'll say
So sorry.
either your strength or your dex modifier, whichever is better, as you are pulling out the bag of holding, as you're getting near Art. Basically, you're attacking Art with a bag.
My strength. Come on, Murdoch. Be cool for once in your life. 5. She's not cool. A natural 1 and a 5. My dice don't want me to be cool.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I tried to be really fun and free willy it.
So, as you make your way up to the surface, all of a sudden you get the sensation of something coming up behind you. As you turn and you can see the shark swimming up, mouth opening.
No!
You don't notice on the back, unfortunately, because of the mouth open, as this thing just roars past you, and you can see Murdoch pulls open the bag of holding and misses you by about a foot. The shark goes sailing up, and Murdoch, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as the two of you land on the deck and start rolling.
That's better. 17.
Okay.
I tried.
The shark rolled a 2. So the shark is actually going to take fall damage.
So after all of that, I never saved Art, which is my last 2 turns trying to... I know you will.
So the shark takes 1 point of incidental damage, not
I'm sorry.
caused by friendly, so it is still charmed.
Okay.
And you now have a bag of holding full of seawater.
Well, that'll come in handy at some point in the future. Remember how I said she was gonna try and let loose a little bit? She's not gonna do that anymore. She is a straight-laced woman. Well, I mean, that was my everything. Well, that was my everything. So you know what? She's gonna just lay on the deck, think about her life choices.
It seems the shark is doing that same thing right beside you. Wondering what the hell just happened.
She's just like, I'm sorry for everything that's about to happen.
So that brings us to the 2 sharks that were down by the vortex. That's this one and the one that has been jumping up and going after Roz. So Roz is still the only one that this shark can see on the deck. So it is going to jump up and take another bite at you. Okay, and even with advantage, it's a 1 and a 4. So the one jumping out of the water after you is not going to hit you.
Okay.
Then we have the other one that's down in the vortex that its only target left is the strange shark that just showed up. So it's going to try to go after...
There's no vortex, it's a trench.
Sorry, I keep saying vortex.
It's okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So now it's going after the shark on the other side of the trench. And that's a 3 on the die, so that's not going to hit. So that's going to end their go and bring us to Lydia.
Okay. So, I'm going to use my movement and... I wish I was a monk. I can't fall, can I?
You can fall, it's just going to hurt.
Can I climb like 30 feet down and then fall 20 feet?
It's up to you.
Okay, I'm gonna do...
If you don't make your save, you'll be on your back, but...
Oh, yeah. Crap. Because what I want to... Okay. I want to go to the side, try to edge away from the shark and the big shark in the boat, and kind of go over the side and throw a life preserver over an Art, because no one's done that yet. And, try to heal Rod.
You know I'm in the water. Just so you know, you would have probably seen me go over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I would have.
I mean, I yelled pretty loudly for nobody else to jump over the the side.
I know, but I was gonna throw just the life preserver down just to see if
it's realistically from like to climb down and get over there. The only way you'd make it to the railing without dashing would literally be to jump at it.
Don't do that. All right, I will trust Inferior, and I will still try to run and then dash to Roz and do a healing word. I don't have to dash then. I will climb halfway down the mast and I will healing word Roz. Wait, who's looking worse, Roz or Sarah? Can I tell? Sarah. I'm gonna heal Sarah for 3rd level healing word, which is 3d4 plus 4.
Okay.
So let me roll it out.
Granny has 6 hit points.
Oh, yeah.
For 12 points of
definitely.
damage. I mean, healing. Healing.
No, don't damn it! Should be more!
12 points of damage. Sarah's unconscious.
Ah, not this
And
again.
again.
Okay, I'm up to 18.
Cool.
Okay. So that brings us back to the 2 sharks again. The other one that was in the... On the other... That was in the vortex. That is... Actually, we're going to roll for that one, but first we got the one that has been getting picked on by Roz, and Sarah is going to take another bite at Roz because Sarah ran away. Okay, that's going to be... that's at 15.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so go ahead and make your athletics check. Not that I think you can fail this at this point, but...
That is a 17.
Okay, so you make your saves. And then that is 14 points of piercing damage, halved to 7.
Okay.
And that thing is still there. And the other one, which is near the trench, it sees one going at the shark, and it sees the gnome in the water. And it decides that eating the other shark is more important. And
I just got the ink.
and that's a net 1. So
What?
that ends those 2, and that brings us to Sarah.
Alright, so there's 2 sharks now on the boat.
There's one with Murdoch laying beside Murdoch that you just saw jump over, and Murdoch and it sort of tumble on the deck.
Okay.
Pat it on the snoot.
Did Lydia actually throw the life preserver?
No.
No,
Do we
you
have
saw.
that technology?
A buoy? Maybe. Maybe not.
Would
you
I
would
have
heard
seen
Furia-
Furia?
You would have heard Furia
Okay.
say nobody else jump off, and her jump off the side. But since then, you
Okay.
haven't seen or heard Furia or Art.
Oh, okay. Is there like a life preserver of some kind on the boat that I can see?
Go ahead and make it. I'll give you one free perception check.
Six.
You don't see any. You're not even seeing any rope that you could throw.
Okay. Okay. Artemis knows what to do with water. Furia can turn into a dolphin. I saw Furia turn into a dolphin, and on the I'm the one that keeps biting Roz. I'm gonna shoot at.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Oh, what's my proficiency bonus? That's a 21.
So that'll hit. Go ahead and roll some damage.
Yes, hello, baby. It's a stop. Stop it. D6.
And Furia, you're on deck.
Plus
All right, I would like to. Ooh.
8.
8 points. Okay. You can see this thing is starting to bleed rather badly now.
Does Sarah get sneak attack for it being engaged with Roz?
I have no idea. It does. Sneak attack work on range damage?
Oh yeah, definitely, because it's
I have.
with ranged or finesse weapons, you have sneak attack if there is a there is an ally within 5 feet of it.
Okay, then yeah.
Oh, yeah. So an extra 4d6.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your 4d6.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna roll 4d6s at the same time instead of counting. Where are all my d6s? 4.
That's the fun
Okay.
of being a rogue, rolling all your d6s.
Okay, so that is 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4, so another 8.
Okay. Yeah, folks, good lesson for those at home. Remember your class abilities. Your DM probably won't. Okay, so that's another 8 points there. So yeah, this thing is really starting to bleed and starting to look a little rough. Yeah, so that brings us over to Furia then.
I would like to swim up under Art and sort of gently, like, push myself under them. Very, like, as non-threateningly as possible, as a giant shark can. And then start to push them towards the ship. Hopefully they grab on and we can swim towards the ship together.
Oh, okay. So you do have 2 sharks next to you that are going to try to bite you as you're trying to leave their range.
All right.
That's one of them's definitely going to miss. The other's an 18.
That will hit.
Okay. And what size is your shark? You consider large or medium?
It is actually huge, according to this.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that means you cannot be grappled. But you can take 16 points of piercing damage as this thing manages to get a nice big bite into one of the fatty bits. Okay, and Art, how would you react to seeing a shark swimming up underneath you?
Just like a lot of screaming. Would I be able to see these other sharks approaching my now supposed shark savior?
So you would see as it is swimming away, these other sharks starting to chew on it, yeah.
Okay, I'm probably guessing that this is Furia that I'm holding on to, so I'm just gonna go along with it for right now. Unless it tries to in turn bite
And
me.
I'm feeling that, Art would grab on. I would use the rest of my movement to head towards the ship, away from the sharks.
Can't hear you.
Thank you. What else is new? Had to happen at one point. This brings us to the charmed shark, which
And
is
then
just sort of going
Lydia.
Oh. Really?
We lost Lydia.
Let me see. Oh, I didn't even realize, we were running a little over.
Her Discord crashed, is what she said.
Yeah, the Discord crashed.
Oh, okay.
Said hold on.
Okay. So while she's reconnecting, basically your mount is going to right itself. And again, you're just keep noticing the same thing. That's strange as this thing is just sitting there looking at you and breathing nice and calm. Doesn't seem to be bothered at all that it's sitting on the deck outside, out of water. And that brings us to Roz.
Okay, I will just continue to rage and swing my axe at this shark in front of me. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt.
10 points of slashing damage. And one more attack. That is a 24 to hit.
And that'll hit as well.
3 points of slashing damage.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I rolled a 1, so with while raging
Okay.
gave me the +2.
But you also had your
Don't you
strength.
had
You
your
also
strength
had your
modifier?
strength modifier to your attacks.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not. It's literally not possible for you to roll to 3.
Ah.
So it's a 1
A 1
Okay,
plus
so-
strength plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so +8 total.
Okay. So it was 3, so we need to add 5 more.
You're a beefy gal!
Yeah.
Use
So
those
it's
muscles, girl!
no proficiency bonus, but yeah, you add your modifier to it.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So that. Oh, and Roz's turn is that that one is now looking wrecked. It's still alive, but it is not looking good.
Okay.
And that brings us over to Artemis, who is currently on the back of a shark savior. And you're right beside the boat.
Cool. Is there any place on which I can like grab onto a rope, or?
Yeah, there's a sort of ladder type thing you could climb up if you want to.
Yep. I'm gonna grab onto that and scramble.
Easy enough to make it up to the top. Uses your full movement, so you are right at the railing, but...
Thank you, I'm getting inferior.
Burble. I don't know what
Aw.
sharks make.
That's cute.
You hear a da-dan.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
that's how they. That's the only thing they can say.
So you have an action and a bonus action left if you want to do anything.
Oh gosh.
There's a very bloody shark that's getting beaten on by a raging dwarf. There's another shark that's just sitting there looking at Murdoch, just sort of calmly chilling.
I'll assist our very angry dwarf. I'll
Okay.
pepper a couple magic missiles into the shark. Actually, I'll go at 3rd level.
Okay.
Oh, 13. 13.
Yeah. Why don't you explain how this looks? As you take down this scarred, burned shark.
I don't know, man. Just pop a few darts into it and hopefully it stops its weird fish cool breathing.
If you turn your wand sideways, it's more accurate.
No, I'm probably like drenched and still panicking from being on a shark.
You imagine
cool.
you just going like.
That's it. So as those
Just-
of you who are on the deck see Art having this minor momentary panic, these darts where you've seen Art do this before, where it's a very sort of controlled precision, multiple strikes in the same spot. This thing is just, they're flying left, right, and just little all over the place. But eventually they all start peppering into the side of the shark that is currently trying to eat Roswin. And you watch as they just start opening one of these gashes from where Sarah had driven her knife in earlier. And eventually this shark just starts to shudder a couple of times and then collapses. Anything else Art would be doing?
Turning back around just to keep an eye on Shark Furia.
Oh, okay. So that brings us over to the crew, who again only really have line of sight on Furia, and who watched her jump in and turn into a shark midair, so are choosing not to shoot. And that brings us to Murdoch and Murdoch's mount.
Yeah. Okay. There's still more threatening sharks, right? Back down in the water.
You know
Or is
there
it
are at
just-
least a couple more down in the water. Yeah.
All right. Stay. Oh, I'm gonna stand up with half my movement.
I go. You stay.
I go. And she's like, her suit's all messed up. She's like, I'm not letting. It's like scrunchy, so she's like, I'm not letting loose anymore. I hate this. I'm going to just over the edge. I'm just gonna do what I should have done a long time ago and sling a hypnotic pattern and try and get as many of those sharks in it as possible. Just like when you throw fish food into the top of your goldfish and they're just all floating at it. Just
But you can definitely get 2 of them down there.
I'll get 2 of them. I will attempt. Wisdom saves. I'm worried they're gonna pass.
No, that's a 1 and a 4. So they are definitely
Okay.
not.
Alright. So she reaches into her pocket and she gets like some just pretty rocks. She just yeah. And then they just sparkle down there and she goes, okay. That one's fine. Deal with the ones down here. And my turn.
It's funny, as you say that, and you can see the 2 that you've just charmed now just sort of sitting there, again, sort of half sticking out into this massive trench. You watch as the one that had been jumping up and sort of attacking at Roswin, all of a sudden you watch as the fin turns and it rapidly starts swimming away.
Okay.
And it just
Good.
takes off.
Be gone.
And that brings us to Lydia. Anything you'd be doing?
I'd be climbing down and healing Roswin.
Oh, okay.
So I'll use 2 cure wounds. If I could get to her. With my movement, if I climb down 20 feet, maybe 10 feet of 10 feet of movement.
Yeah, I'll say you can get close enough.
Okay, so that is 5 plus 5 plus 4, so 14 points of healing you get back.
Okay, so at this point, the David Mount, I'll let you know. Though the one that is capable of movement is fleeing. The others are stoned. They're just off in their own world. And if no one is planning on attacking, you guys are out of initiative then.
Yay!
Who wants shark fin soup?
Is it Shark Week or something? I know that's coming up.
I have no idea.
I,
This
I
is
would
what was
attempt
rolled on my
to,
random
as a shark,
sea creature encounter.
fall back a bit and then sort of jump up at the netting that Art climbed up, and then climb up myself so I don't get wet. And then climb up on deck. Do I need to make a
I'll say go ahead,
acrobatics
make
or something
make
as a
an
shark?
acrobatics check because it's easy enough to jump up at it, but now you're also changing mid-form and trying to grab onto this thing.
I drop concentration and. All right. Natural 20. The dice want me to do this.
Yeah, you managed to survive
23
without,
total.
Yeah, you managed to make it back up all dry.
Yeah, I will leave the oceanic escapades to you in the future.
You did it all right.
I've never dove off a ship before.
You
Check it
haven't.
off.
It's
Check it
usually
off.
more pleasant. Usually go in a
Yes.
skiff and dive off and no.
Thank you for trying.
I know. I'm sorry. This one is gonna be docile for about an hour. I'm sure if you're nice to it, you could actually try and figure out how these sharks work, because they are not suffocating. Can you understand me? Like, flip, flop, if yes, and flop twice if no. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's like the goats again.
It's just sort of staring at you, just breathing.
Okay, no, it's just.
I'll speak with animals. I do have that. And I'll... Can you understand what Murdoch's saying? Can you understand me?
It stares at you and just gives you that same black-eyed, blank stare.
Must not be a beast or work here. I don't know if speaking to animals works here.
Well, if it's not sentient, I think
Or it doesn't want
we have
to me.
enough food for the month.
Plants are sentient, most of them.
Captain?
That's it.
Captain
He looks
Kaz?
over.
Oh, yeah, what? What you...
Why is the shark not suffocating? We call these sharks where we're from, or they look like what we would call sharks.
That's what they are. They just... Why would it be suffocating? They can breathe on land, they can breathe in water. They're just
They just
slow
can't.
as anything up here.
They
They're
just
decent eating, but...
Speaking of decent
Well, maybe
eating,
we should
Captain, I could get
put
to
one back in the water then. If
Yes.
Suppose so.
I might need a couple of us. They are kind of big. I've never ridden on a shark before. That was new.
Was that exciting?
you should have just
exciting-
asked.
That's true, but I feel like that's almost cheating, you know? This has the unpredictability of not being my
Trying
friend.
to eat you. Right.
Well,
Yes.
Well, I could
So-
do it at any moment if I choose.
well,
I could throw that in for fun.
it is exciting in the way that someone might say that getting stabbed is exciting. So,
Not-
that's what it was like.
Much
Uh,
fun.
At this point,
the blood pumping.
Rose lets out like a great air growl, and you see her kind of transform back to her usual look.
But I was worried you were gonna be stuck like that.
Oh no, I'm not stuck, but did we try to talk with it? I can talk with animals.
I tried. It's not a beast.
Oh,
Or at least it doesn't want to talk to me.
I guess I could try it. I'll look at it. Hello? Can you understand me? Can you hear me?
And as you're talking at it, the head turns, but you get that same blank, black-eyed stare.
ah, guys.
Like a dow's ass.
Rosalind, your abilities are quite interesting.
As the group of you are looking at this, trying to figure out what is going on, Murdoch, you get a message in your mind. Hello? You didn't die, did you?
No, but it's been 2 weeks. We are on a continent called Kryn? Kryn?
That was the name of the world, you were told, yes.
World called Kryn. Time works strangely. Please message as soon as you get, and I think that's it.
Okay. And that's where we're going to call an end to tonight's session. As our party has survived a strange encounter with some amphibious sharks.
They really are just sharks that breathe.
Yeah, they are oversized sharks that can breathe in the air.
Cool.
Sharknado.
Who are apparently unable to pull a stupid dwarf off the side of a boat.
Not a stupid dwarf. A strong bear.
A stout and hardy dwarf.
Take our wizard.
Oh yeah, baby.
This is now
The 5th time.
this is like the 5th time that art has been taken by something. Everyone wants this gnome.
You rope art to a nearby person for safety.
Record
You're
scratch.
going in the
Yep,
buddy. You're
that's
going in the
me.
buddy system.
Putting a leash around you.
When our
those
party puts a baby
child
leash on their
leashes.
gnome wizard, it's got the little harness on it. It's wrapped
Listen,
around. It's wrapped around Murdoch's wrist. All of a sudden, someone starts running away with Art, and you just see Murdoch go.
We need the metal band again, but this time like consensually put you in it.
Oh my god, the Bonds of Bolaro. Oh, we will be back. Actually, no, I hate to do this on stream. I think we're all good for next week, right? I know the holiday is in the U.S. The holiday is on Sunday.
Yeah.
Everyone should be good Monday night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we should be back.
This holidays this coming through, so
So, don't forget, folks, we will be back next week. Our party will be finishing up their journey and arriving at Mount Nevermind. Oh, it's going to be interesting. And don't forget, we will have more announcements coming soon, but Probo's birthday is coming up next month. So keep your eyes tuned for that. And we have more announcements. I was supposed to update our advertisements before the stream, and I forgot to. There's a special one-shot kicking it off that all I know is aliens. Literally, that's all I know. So with that, folks, don't forget, when your gnome wizard gets eaten off the side of a boat, jump in after them and ride a shark to try to save them. Because, hell, if it had worked, it would have been hella cool. And don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, folks. We'll see you next time.
Night.